Akira.
The Don.
He's got clout. My grandfather Virus, character and self-control. My father, integrity and manliness. My mother, her reverence for the divine, her generosity, her inability not only to do wrong, but even to conceive of doing it. My great-grandfather, to avoid the public school, hire good private teachers, and accept the resulting costs as money well spent. My first teacher, not to support this side or that in chariot racing, this fighter or that in the games, to put up with discomfort and not make demands. Do my own work, mind my own business, and have no time for slanderers. Do my own work, mind my own business, and have no time for slanderers. Diagnosis, not to waste time on nonsense, not taken in by conjurers, not obsessed with quail fighting or other crazes like that. To hear unwelcome truths, to practice philosophy study, to write dialogues as a student, and to choose the Greek lifestyle. The camp bed and the cloak. Dads and lessons, 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 dads and lessons. Rusticus. The recognition I needed to train and discipline my character, not to be sidetracked by interest in rhetoric, not to write treatises on abstract questions, or deliver moralizing little sermons, or compose imaginary descriptions of the simple life for the man who lives only for others. Steer clear of oratory, poetry, and bowels lectures, not to dress up just to stroll around the house, write straightforward letters, to behave in a consideratory way when people who have angered us want to make up, read attentively, not to be satisfied with just getting the gist of it, and not to fall for each smooth talker. Apollonius, independence and unvarying reliability, to pay attention to nothing, no matter how fleetingly, except the logos. To be the same in all circumstances, pain, loss of a child, chronic illness, clearly, that a man can show both strength and flexibility. Patience and teaching, to have seen someone who clearly viewed his expertise and ability as a teacher as the humblest of virtues, and to have learned how to accept favors from friends without losing your self-respect or appearing ungrateful. Dads and lessons, 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 dads and lessons. Sextus, kindness, an example of fatherly authority in the home, what it means to live as nature requires, gravity without airs, to show intuitive sympathy for friends, tolerance to amateurs and sloppy thinkers, his ability to get along with everyone, to investigate and analyze with understanding and logic the principles we ought to live by, not to display anger or other emotions, to be free of passion and yet full of love, to praise without bombast, to display expertise without pretension. Literary critic Alexander, not to be constantly correcting people, not to jump on them when they make an error, but just answer their question or add another example, or debate the issue itself, not their phrasing, or make some other contribution to the discussion. Pronto, to recognize the malice, cunning and hypocrisy the power produces, and the peculiar ruthlessness often shown by people from good families. Alexander the Platonist, not be constantly telling people I'm too busy, not be always ducking my responsibilities cause of pressing business. Catulus, not to shrug off a friend's resentment, even unjustified resentment, but try to put things right, to show your teachers ungrudging respect, and your children unfeigned love.
Akira The Don.
East Coast Cloud.
Because I'm going to say the exact opposite of what today's world is saying. So we read a bunch of books nowadays. As humans, we want to find out how to be someone else. What we don't do is we don't go inside. So literally turn yourself inside out. Like we're writing a book every day of our lives, but we never read that book. You have to look inside of yourself to see what you really want. What are you passionate about? We use these words and these little phrases of only the strong survive and all this other crap. They're all just fucking words. I get so tired of hearing people just talking. Like right now, someone may think Goggins is just talking. You don't know me. So when I speak from passion. I speak from experience. I speak from suffering. I speak from suffering. The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. I speak from suffering. Some people will get it, and some people won't. But they have to see what their journey is to start their journey. Several people live to be 100 years old, and they have great lives. And they have great kids, their kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way. But the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey. And you gotta start your journey. It may suck, but it will come out the other side where you're coasting. I speak from suffering. I speak from suffering. The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. I speak from suffering. Every day, we're seeing who we are as people. When I was growing up, I lied for people to accept me because I didn't accept myself. So I would make up stories so that you would accept me into your world. Everything I did was for someone else to like me. It wasn't until I started reading my own book about how pathetic I was as a human being. I could blame my dad, I can blame kids at school, I could blame having health issues, ADD, my mom not being around. Great mom, but she was doing her thing. I could blame a lot of people. And that's the book I was reading. And I put it off on everybody else. It wasn't until I said, you know what? For me to fix this, I gotta read what the fuck is wrong with David Goggins. And I blame anybody. Read my book, it's okay. I'm afraid of my shadow. How can I overcome that? Go in the military, get your ass kicked, do things you hate to do. Be uncomfortable every fucking day of your life. Roger that. I'm not the smartest kid in the world. Okay. Instead of somebody saying, oh no, you're smart. No, don't say that to yourself. I said to myself, no, I'm a dumb motherfucker. Okay, roger that. How you get smarter? Educate yourself. So the things that we run from, we're running from the truth. We're running from the truth, man. So the only way I became successful was going towards the truth. As painful and as brutal as it is, it changed me. It allowed me to become, in my own right, who I am today. I speak from suffering. I speak from suffering. The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer. To grow. To grow, you must suffer. I speak from suffering.
The one thing that discipline definitely does help you with, it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. A big part of success is just not being fucking lazy and just doing it. 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not gonna feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat fuck. Because there's a lot of days I don't want to do it. I mean, it's pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something. There's got to be those days you push through. They're probably going to be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline, I get things done. I'm like the most lazy, disciplined person I know because I don't want to do it.
Akira
The Don.
He's got clout.
Through discipline, I get things done. The pro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do.
I also think that discipline is a pathway to creativity. When you're on the battlefield, is an absolute exercise in creativity. How are we going to attack them? How are we going to disorganize them? How are we going to get in their heads? That's all just massive creativity. And when I look at people that are artists, I would imagine the more disciplined you are, you got to write stuff down. You got to read. You got to increase your vocabulary so that you are quicker and sharper so that when people are saying things, you have more words to battle back at them. All those things, all that freedom that you get on stage comes from the discipline. You study, you learn, you read, you write, you talk, you go through things. Is that an accurate statement?
Absolutely accurate. Through discipline, I get things done. The pro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do. Through discipline, I get things done. The pro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do. And it doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you have kids, you're a pro and you go to work. And you have pride in that. And then when you are in front of that keyboard, you look down the count, it says, I fucked 1,000 words today. Out of that work, gems blossom. But you might have a day where you just write nothing but dog shit. So what? Show up again tomorrow. And tomorrow out of that dog shit, a flower will emerge. Through discipline, I get things done. The pro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do. Through discipline, I get things done. The pro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do.
Akira
The Don.
He's got clout.
How do I deal with setbacks, failures, delays, defeat, or other disasters?
I actually have a fairly simple way of dealing with these situations. It is actually one word to deal with all those situations. And that is good. And this is actually something that one of my guys that worked for me pointed out to me. He would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. One day he was telling me about some issue that he was having. He said, I already know what you're gonna say. And I said, well, what am I gonna say? He said, you're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. 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 You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. Good. So that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say, good. Good. And I said, well, yeah. And I mean it. And that is how I feel. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. We can keep it simple. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Didn't get funded? Good. We own more of the company. Didn't get the job you wanted? Good. You can get more experience and build a better resume. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. 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 You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. Good. Got injured. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Good. Needed a break from training. Got tapped out. Good. It's better to tap in training than to tap out on the street. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. And that's it. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. No. You just look at the issue and you say, good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. 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 You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. Good. I don't mean to say something that's all cliche. I don't mean to sound like Mr. Positive. Find the positive. But do that. Do that. Focus on the good. Focus on the good. Take that issue, take that problem. Take that issue, take that problem, and make it something good. Make it something good. And bring that attitude to your team. Do. You go forward. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. 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 You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. Good. And lastly, like to close this out, if you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, go out on the attack. And that right there is about as good as it gets.
Okay, so here's the problem. There's a big problem here. The problem is, it's true.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
God only knows why.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
Maybe you're too short, or you're not as beautiful as you could be, or your grandparent was a serf. Likely, because almost everybody's great-grandparent was. You know, and you're not as smart as you could be, and you have a sick relative, and you have your own physical problem. Frankly, you're a mess. Frankly, you're a mess. And you're oppressed in every possible way, including your ancestry and your biology. The entire sum of human history has conspired to produce victimized you with all your individual pathological problems. It's like, yes! True!
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
God only knows why.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
Okay, but the problem is that it is true, and so if you take the oppressed, you have to fractionate them and fractionate them and fractionate them and fractionate them, and it's like, you're a woman. Yeah, okay, well, I'm a black woman. Well, I'm a black woman who has 2 children. Well, I'm a black woman who has 2 children, and one of them isn't very healthy. And then, well, I'm a Hispanic woman, and I have a genius son who doesn't have any money so that he can't go to university. My husband is an alcoholic brute. It's like, well, yeah, that sucks too. And so, let's fix all your oppression. Let's fix all your oppression. Let's fix all your oppression. And we'll take every single thing into account, and then we'll fix yours too. We'll take every single thing into account. It's like, no, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because you can't. You can't. It is technically impossible.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
God only knows why.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
First of all, you can't even list all the ways that you're oppressed. Second, how are you going to weight them? Third, who's going to decide? That's the bloody thing. Who's going to decide? Who's going to decide? That's the thing. You have to fractionate the oppressed all the way down to the level of the individual. Oh, that's what the West figured out. It's not an accident that the axiomatic Western individual is someone who is unfit, cross, and tortured. It's like, yes, right, exactly.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
God only knows why.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed.
So what do you do about that? Well, I thought about that for a long time too. It's like, well, you don't get together in a damn bar, because all that does is allow you to be as horrible as you can possibly imagine and suffer from none of the consequences. That's a bad idea. So how about we don't do that? Well, there's a deep idea in the West too. It's like, the truth, you know?
People think it should look like a flower garden. It should be easy. They should always feel motivated. Whereas you saw it as, I should fail, I should get knocked down, it should be messy. Do you think there's something to that?
Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story, and they think I was born this man. They see what was created. They see the end of the job. They didn't see what it took to get there. And to develop a man like this, I realized that, you know, like to sharpen a sword, to make a sword, you have to put it through fire. And you have to beat the fucking shit out of it. Repeatedly, you have to beat the living shit out of it. And so my mindset started to become that. And I realized that nothing hard comes from soft. When people have that mindset of I failed, it determines how you look at that. I started looking at that as a whole different way of living. Like, how many people could do what you do, David? It's that internal conversation I started having that was motivating me. Like, I knew where I came from, but I knew where I was going. Like, how many people can come from your fucked up background? You couldn't even read. And then I put myself in a deeper hole. So all this was inspiring me. All this fucked up shit was inspiring me. Like, I went from a guy who couldn't read, who got beat, got called nigger, called all these things growing up. His dad beat the soul out of him. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story, and they think I was born this man. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story, and they think I was born this man. I was 175 pounds. Now I'm almost 300 pounds. I'm in a worse hole. But it's gonna make for an even better story at the end of all this shit. So I started turning all these conversations into power. All the failure, all the rocky moments that we have in life, they're so powerful to say, what if I can get up and make this turn out to be what I want it to be? I have a way with visualizing. I have a way of visualizing and talking to myself and finding great strength in great misery. And it's those people who are able to be in the fucking sewer. It's very easy to be motivated on those good days of life. It's that cat who can be at the bottom of the sewer, who can find great motivation alone. There's no coach, there's no trainer, there's no nothing. No mom, dad, sister, cousin, brothers, wife, husband. It's you and you alone in the worst possible spot of your life. If you can find drive, determination, motivation in those times alone, you figured it out. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story, and they think I was born this man. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story, and they think I was born this man. We have it all in our minds. It's how you talk to yourself, and how you visualize coming out of it. It's how you see yourself in the dungeon of life. Many of us can't find strength there, but there's so much strength in the dungeon because so many people just stay there. that motherfucker was willing to come out of it, that becomes glorious at the end of it all. Glorious at the end of it all. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story, and they think I was born this man.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Remain. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain, pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain, pain. You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape a trap? That's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? To determine if you're human, be silent. It burns. Silence. His world emptied of everything except the hand immersed in agony. He thought he could feel skin curling black on that agonized hand, the flesh crisping and dropping away until only charred bones remained. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. It stopped, as though a switch had been turned off. The pain stopped. Enough. Take your hand from the box, young human, and look at it. Do it. Do it. Do it. He jerked his hand from the box, stared at it astonished. Not a mark. No sign of agony on the flesh. He held up the hand, turned it, flexed the fingers. Pain, she sniffed. A human can override any nerve in the body. Ever sift sand through a screen? We Bene Gesserit sift people to find the humans. Paul felt that he had been infected with terrible purpose. He did not know yet what the terrible purpose was. Why do you test for humans? To set you free. To set you free. Free? Once, men turned their thinking over to machines in the hopes that this would set them free. That only permitted other men with machines to enslave them.
Akira.
The Don.
He's got clout.
That's a very scary situation when you are on one side of the door and your mind is racing because on the other side of that door, it could be no one. It could be 4 guys with 4 AK-47s. That door you're about to open could be booby-trapped. So once you open it, boom, your legs are gone. There's 1,000 things you think about when you're the first guy, second guy, third guy, getting ready to go in a room and flood it. And that's why I talk about the warrior mentality. And that's why so many people are lost when I start talking. You have the right. You're lucky that you don't have to think like warriors think. You're very privileged. I chose this world to be a warrior. To be a warrior. To be a warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. The mentality of a warrior is very different than normal mentality. You must be that person on that door, get ready to open it, thinking to yourself, if I die, so be it. The only way you can go in that door is knowing there's a great chance you're gonna die. Like being a SEAL, you train with live ammo. You jump out of an airplane. Everything you do, you could die. To be a warrior, why people don't understand me, I'm glad you don't understand me. Merry Christmas, good on you. Because being a warrior takes a whole different mindset. A whole different mindset to know that there's a great chance I may not be in the military. Like I was in for 21 years. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that I'm alive, able to talk to you, able to still run. But when you sign up on that dotted line to be a SEAL, your mentality changes. I may not live. You gotta accept that. And that's the mentality you have. And that's what makes you a warrior. If you're scared to die, you're a bad warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. To be a warrior. To be a warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. It still works for me in life as far as attacking things. No matter what avenue I choose, I want to be the very best. And the very best may not be I'm number one. The very best is that I leave everything inside of me out there. So attacking is not like, oh, I want to win this or win that or be the best. The best is I'm running against myself and everything I do. And that's what I attack. I attack myself. I'm always questioning myself. I'm always holding myself accountable. Because you know what, at least I look at everything I do now in life, and this sums it up. I hated jumping out of airplanes. I hated shooting guns. I hated the job as a Navy SEAL, but I did it because I wanted to change myself. Everything I do, I'm not really comfortable doing. But if you choose to go that route, to go be a Navy SEAL, you might as well go be the hardest motherfucker in the world. I chose this world to be a warrior. To be a warrior. To be a warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. Because if you're choosing to do something, you have two routes. You can go there and be a little weak person and get through barely, and that's your reputation. Or you can go through the hardest guy you can possibly be, and that's your reputation. So my whole thing is, if you're gonna choose to open that fucking door in Iraq or Afghanistan, open the motherfucker and go in hard. Because they're gonna remember you by slowly opening it and peeking in. So if you're gonna open it, and you made the mind to open it, don't crack it open. Open the fucking door and go in. That's with life. If you're choosing to do something, attack it. Because they're gonna remember you as not attacking it. So I want to be remembered. You can hate me, but there's one thing you can't say about me. I didn't attack it. So that's the mentality you have. If you're gonna do something, you might as well attack it. Because you can do it anyway.
Akira.
The Don.
He's got clout.
But no, it's like commitment, man. It's like life is hard, right? Like, yeah, you might get hurt. It's like, you know, your heart might get broken. You know? It's like you might lose your job, but you still gotta commit, you know? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. And it's like, you know, you meet somebody and, hey, you know, you like her and she likes you, and you're hesitating. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, you might get hurt. You might lose something. But it's like you can't experience the joy that is intended for you in life if you don't go. You gotta go, man. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate.
real nature of the things our senses experience, especially those that entice us with pleasure or frighten us with pain, or are loudly trumpeted by pride. To understand those things, how stupid, contemptible, grimy, decaying, and dead they are, that's what our intellectual powers are for. Hey. Speed with which all of them vanish, the objects in the world and the memory of them in time, of them in time. Speed with which all of them vanish, the objects in the world and the memory of them in time, of them in time. Understand what those people really amount to, whose opinions and voices constitute fame, and what dying is. And if you look at it in the abstract and break down your imaginary ideas of it by logical analysis, you realize that it's nothing but a process of nature, which only children can be scared of. And not just a process of nature, but a necessary one. Speed with which all of them vanish, the objects in the world and the memory of them in time, of them in time. Speed with which all of them vanish, the objects in the world and the memory of them in time, of them in time. He does so, and how that part is conditioned when he does. How man grasps God with what part of himself he does so, and how that part is conditioned when he does. How man grasps God with what part of himself he does so, and how that part is conditioned when he does. How man grasps God with what part of himself he does so, and how that part is conditioned when he does.
Happiness is a management issue. You could be in a shit state of mind right now, but you can make some decisions to adjust that, and over the next couple hours, you'll get to a much better place. And these constant management decisions, they waver in and out of your life on a daily basis. Like this idea that you could have a good mindset, and then all of a sudden you'll be happy. That's horseshit. It's like the tide. It comes in and it comes out. There's gonna be days where you're just not feeling so good physically. That's going to affect the way your happiness level is. It's never static. It's never exactly the same. Me? I'm happy. Happy as fuck is what I would say. I'm happy. Happy as fuck is what I would say. It's like hunger. It goes in and out. It's always there. This is something I've cultivated for a long time and avoided things that make me unhappy and figured out what those things are and been very rigid about eliminating them from my life. There's a lot of cynicism in these days about inspiration, motivation, because there's a lot of fake shit. See a million of these inspirational quote pages run by people that are probably depressed. You know, you see a lot of people that are talking about how to get ahead in life, but they're not really doing anything themselves. So there's a lot of cynicism involved in that, but there's also sincerity in it. If you just look at it with a pure heart and a pure mind, can get a lot of energy out of that. And when you're around happy, inspirational people that are successful, it makes you feel better. And you get inspired. And if you act on that inspiration, your life will be more fulfilled. And it's not just inspirational in terms of financial success, but in terms of doing difficult things. I'm happy. Happy as fuck, is what I would say. I'm happy. Happy as fuck, is what I would say. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that think somehow or another you're gonna get to some place where you're living in silk sheets and you're getting your toes done, someone's dropping grapes into your mouth. I don't want that. That guy's not gonna be happy. He's gonna be bored. An hour into the grape, get those fucking grapes away from me. Stop painting my toes. What am I doing in this bed? I gotta do something. The human organism, the animal that we are, needs constant stimulation because it evolved trying to find food and escape enemies. And this is the great joy that you have in taking care of your children. You can protect your children from the elements and the enemies. And it's also the great sadness that you see in losers. When I see a loser, I see some guy who's 43 years old, who lives in his parents' basement, and he fucking hates the world. I'm like, that was a baby that somebody just gave shitty nutrients to, food or in thoughts and ideas and examples. And this kid developed these horrible, self-defeating patterns of behavior that have led them to this point where they're this person with no future and no idea of how to get out of this rut and probably never will escape it. And might just wind up sucking on a gun. I'm happy. Happy as fuck, is what I would say. I'm happy. Happy as fuck, is what I would say. This is the world that we live in today, and I think part of that world is because we have been fed this line of horseshit that you're supposed to seek comfort. And I don't think you are. I think you're supposed to seek lessons, and you're supposed to seek difficult tasks. Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just gonna coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello sadness, my old friend. Hello depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Bullshit. You're a fucking human. You evolved from the fucking hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, family, struggle, learning are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person. I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck, is what I would say. I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck, is what I would say. I'm pretty fucking happy. Fucking happy. I'm pretty fucking happy.
I believe all of us humans have an equation like, pi is 3.14. That's how you solve that equation. Every human being has a different equation. And there's not like some cookie cutter book of, hey, read this book and you'll be fixed. No, you gotta figure out your own personal equation. And once you figure out that equation, you now become a mathematical fucking genius.
You gotta figure out your own personal equation. And once you figure out that equation, you now become a mathematical fucking genius. And that's what this does. It makes you a fucking genius about who the fuck you are. And then from there, once you realize 3.14 is pi, you can solve any fucking equation in the world. That's what it's about.
What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us.
Yo, nothing is more pathetic than people who run around in circles, delving into the things that lie beneath, and conducting investigation into the souls of the people around them, when all you have to do is pay attention to the power inside you and worship it sincerely. Keep it becoming muddled with turmoil, becoming aimless and dissatisfied with nature. Just worship it sincerely. Keep it becoming muddled with turmoil, becoming aimless and dissatisfied with nature. Divine and human.
What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us.
And I pity too, sometimes, for its inability to tell good from bad is terrible. A blindness, as the kind that can't tell white from black. Even if you're gonna live 3,000 more years or 10 times that, remember, you can't lose another life than this one. You can't live another down, you're losing. Longest amounts to the same as the shortest. The present is the same for everyone. Is lost is the same for everyone. And it should be clear that a brief instant is all that is lost. Cause you can't lose either past or the future. How could you lose what you don't have? Remember two things. One, everything has always been the same. 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 Keeps recurring. Everything has always been the same. 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 Keeps recurring.
What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us.
Everything has always been the same. 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 Everything is the longest lived, and those who will die soonest lose the same thing. The present is all they can give up. The present is all they can give up. Since that's all you have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose. That's all you have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose. That's all you have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose.
shall find a God. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. Where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. Where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves.
To travel outward, we shall come to the center of our own existence. Where we had thought to be alone, we shall be with all the world.
And where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a God. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves.